boundaries of the universe is still unknown, so how are we to judge?
Yeah, well, what do you mean? What part of it's unknown? I mean, we do know a lot about it. We know the universe isn't playing like, you know, whatever, third dimensional chess. Okay, we know it's not doing that. Yeah, well, you can talk. You have to hit your button and you talk. I mean, what is this permission to talk thing? Fuck. Yeah, well, you have to hit the button and then your microphone has to actually work.
You hold down, like, the mouse button on the click to talk button.
Well, I have a touch screen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can.
This time I can.
Oh, okay. Hi, all.
Yeah. Well.
Here, you crack me up.
You irritate me. So I guess that's sort of even.
I do. I know, but you so crack me up.
Yeah, well. I wish I cracked you a little harder.
Well, I'm not here to go off subject, just listening.
Okay.
All right.
Paul might sing a song later. Yeah.
Gonna be Rick Astley.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Yeah, if he could sing that song, whatever that is. Yeah, that Rick Roll song.
We're no strangers to love.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Know the rules, and so do I.
Oh, he could do it. Yay, he could even do it. He's got the voice for it. Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so great. Yeah.
Paul, give us some 80s rock. So we're doing karaoke now?
Well, you know, well, whatever. Yeah. I guess the answer is sort of yes. I will hum a tune and everybody can sing to it. Nobody's singing. We're the Flintstones. We live in bedrock and such, but we never fornicate very much. And we just kind of have kids that come from storks and stuff because we're a kids show, fuckers.
When the show ends, man, they get at it.
Yeah, well, whatever. I never even thought about it, you know what I mean? I never even thought about Fred and Wilma doing it until just now. It never even occurred to me to even try to imagine it. And now, for the first time in my life, I am now attempting to imagine, you know, yabba dabba doo! You know, Fred going at it. Yeah, it's really quite entertaining.
Yabba dabba don't.
No, it really is better porn than you think. No, I'm seeing it. It really is quite entertaining.
Where's Dino fit in here? You never once like thought of that, like when you were watching that show? Like as a kid, that used to bother me because Wilma was so hot.
Yeah, it never even occurred. I just figured she was a lesbian. I never even thought about it. I never even thought about Fred having a penis.
Well, then her and the other chick then come from the friend.
Betty.
Yeah, she was hot as well. But yeah, it made up for a lot of good material.
Yeah, exactly. I just figured Betty and Wilma were lesbians. And, you know, Fred and Barney were, you know, whatever you call those guys without a, you know, nutsack and shit. And that must be how it works.
Eunuchs.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, look at the size of their feet. I mean, they must have been hung. Well, Pebbles and Bam Bam had to come from somewhere, though. I mean,
Bam Bam was adopted, and, you know, Pebbles was the storky thing.
No, they were fucking. They were fucking.
Well, you can say so, but whatever. Yeah, now I'm thinking about SpongeBob with Wilma. That's an interesting combination.
How can a sponge have a cock?
Oh, come on. You know, it can have its the whole fucking body's a cock. That's the great thing about being a sponge, man. You can really do it. You can be inside of her entirely.
And he's got, like, pants for a reason. Those pants are covered something.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Well, he's been naked a few times, though, right? I think he's done that nakedy thing a few times. It's kind of like Fred. Fred and SpongeBob have a lot in common.
Chicks taking sponge bath is kind of hot, so sure I can see.
Yeah, it sort of works for me. Alright, anyway, so now we'll talk about something real. Fish. Maybe.
Life.
Well, it does seem like it's all fail, and it seems so quite fucking obvious. I really just don't see how there's any counter-argument whatsoever. It's just so fucking stupid, right? We just keep doing the same shit over and 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 over.
Gary.
We got all straws and grass and we're clipping ourselves with a grass lawnmower.
No, we're all dog do, and we're all stinking each other out of the fucking house.
Gary, I'm not even arguing what you're saying, because from a biological standpoint and with chemistry, you're absolutely correct.
I know, and you're just saying it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter because I'm gonna ride Hope, my golden unicorn, to the salvation of Delusionarium. I'm going to Delusionarium. Delusionaria and beyond.
I know that, but anyways, moving on. No, honestly, you got me wrong.
Well, I'm sorry. Honestly, I don't have you wrong. Okay, your whole argument is that human beings are somehow accomplishing something, and that we have something to accomplish besides basically saying, stop having more of these stupid fuckers.
No, actually, the problem is I'm on a completely different subject than you are.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. I'm on the subject of reality, and you're on the subject of delusional.
Well, I suppose, yeah, I guess you could say it. You could see it that way. But as far as what you're saying, that is correct. So I'm not arguing that.
Well, the point is no, you can't, you know what I mean? You fill the little hope, the little truth jar, and then it's full. When you figure out all the little truth parts, then it's over. You can't, it's like tic-tac-toe. You describe the game, how you play the game, and that's all there is. You can't just attach something to tic-tac-toe like, I don't know, Blue Frog. Like, Blue Frog does not fit. Well, I'm just saying, what's the point of describing reality if you're not going to stick to the rules of reality?
Well, okay, this was what I meant by the word truth. I used to be in this religion where they're like, we're in the truth. And so whenever I hear that, it makes me think of religion and how dogmatic it is.
Yeah, well, then that's your problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is completely. It isn't your problem. It's really all about me. It has nothing to do with you, Gary.
Why, exactly. So why is it my problem to have to explain to you what the truth is? The truth is just a word for an accurate description. The fact that Jehovah's Witnesses don't know their ass from a book full of bullshit
and another
isn't
thing,
my fault.
I've never been... See, I am completely not in any group. I don't want to be in any religion. I don't want any part of any of that because I am just totally turned off by it. I don't like that us versus them feeling.
Well, whatever. Then you really aren't made for life on planet Earth as a human being, because guess what? That's what the whole fucking planet is covered with, is us's and thems.
Okay.
Inspired. Do you have like beliefs then, or do you think like belief system is fucked up?
Well, everybody has belief systems, but mine is more like a la carte.
Yeah, it's just make up whatever the fuck you want is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
Yeah,
whatever
right.
feels
So who
right
the
for
fuck,
me,
who
you know,
wants to have a rational conversation with whatever I feel at the moment is the truth?
Well, Gary, I'm not saying you have to have a conversation with me with my...
Apparently you are, because what did I do? What was my reaction to your fucktardedness? I said, oh, I'll block this fucking fucktard. I'll tell this fucktard to fuck off. And the fucktard doesn't fuck off. It keeps making videos with my name in them, and then it shows up into the stickcam room and says, oh, can I talk some more fucking bullshit?
Well, what would you like me to say, Gary?
I would like you to say nothing. I'd like you to say, thank you for blocking me. You're right. I am completely retarded. I will now go away.
Oh, you want me to go away?
Yeah, I don't have any interest in talking about your fantasies. Correct. That's exactly correct.
I'm not talking about... I'm in your room right now. I'm not going to talk about my crap.
I think you have crap. I mean, maybe you didn't know you did it, but you have crap.
Is that what you perceive?
Yes, that's exactly what I perceived. That's why I underrated that exact statement. Is because I perceived that you have just crap in the room, and I perceived it, and I explained it to you.
And how is the experience?
Crappy.
Damn.
She fell on a laptop. Oh, I thought she was crazy, and now I've learned she's a fucking lunatic.
Probably that mean to an old lady, man.
That was great.
It's funny, but yeah.
That was the best thing that's happened all fucking day. Oh, that was great.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
I feel responsible as well for inciting her.
No, because, I mean, just think about her reaction to that. Like, she's like sitting in there going, what, where did that go?
Yeah, where did it all go wrong? I was being rational, lady, ish.
Screaming at the camera.
My belief system is a la carte. I thought that was a real good one. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's like a logicilication. I was logicilicating.
Everything's whatever. You're just saying shit.
Yeah, and go, whoa, that's interesting. Well, whoa, that's really interesting.
I believe in everything though, so whatever.
Cattle.
The important thing is what I know.
Cattle.
Whatever, cattle. Yes, I agree.
I think you missed it, Gary. I think she likes you.
Oh, whatever. This is like the worst nightmare. Yeah, remember, you imagine that threesome. To be serious in that one. Woo! Fun, fun, fun for no one.
Yeah, you can just put paper bags over their heads.
That woman was nuts.
Yeah, she is a little whack, that's for sure.
Women are nice to have around, as long as they don't have like opinions. And stuff.
Yeah, as long as they don't have a mouth.
Yeah. No unnecessary body parts. They need like one arm to like go around and get stuff from the kitchen.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'd rather have a disabled vagina. Yes, it's a crippled vagina. Yeah, that's what I want, the crippled vagina.
Can you just have one mounted on the wall or something?
It's really white artificial teeth.
And she's just like biologically kind of fucked too. She's one of those people that not only does her premise not make any fucking sense, but her voice is like fingernails on a fucking chalkboard.
Yeah, she's a charmer, ain't she? She's a charmer, man. You know.
You need to get someone who sounds like the nanny. That would be just the perfect addition.
she could sell trailers.
And makeup.
But whatever. She's learning, as they say.
So what did I miss?
Well, Paul sang the Fart Fart song, and that was pretty damn cool. And Metamorph is actually wearing a tutu. You can't see it now. But he was wearing a tutu, and he was spinning around circles, and it was really pretty cool.
That's pretty impressive. I was actually really surprised he was here. That's awesome.
Isn't it? Yeah. Me and him is like friends now. I know all about him. He wrote all about himself in his fucking book. And yes, I know all his secrets and shit.
What? Like, totally? I can't find that book yet. That's wondering.
I can send it to you if I ever finish fucking reading it.
Yeah, maybe do that, please. Read it, I mean.
Yeah, and we'll just send Morphe a little money. Just, I forgot about that. Shouldn't cheat.
First edition's almost gone, by the way. That's what my publisher tells me.
Well, does he actually pay you, the publisher? Yeah. Oh, all the books are. Well, we lost them all. I don't know where they went. Well, that's great.
I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of the cover on my left arm.
Yeah, I didn't really like the cover, to tell you the truth. It's kind of creepy, you know. Yeah, I just didn't, it's not like a really good selling point to put like creepy shit on the cover of the book, because like people look at it and go, "Holy fucking shit! I don't want to read that." It scared me. I mean, it's scary. I mean, it's like
people love a horror story.
Well, that's true. So yeah, maybe appeal to them.
Any attention is good attention.
Well, I don't know. I just don't want like snakes biting my head, kind of. I mean, it's just not a very pleasant image. I would have put like a cake on it or something, a cupcake and French fries.
Well, Gary, life's not a pleasant image.
I know, but I'm just saying, gotta go migrate people to the truth one little piece at a time. So you start off with potato chips and cupcakes, and then you end with a knife in their head.
I'll put on the next edition. I'll put a pink balloon. How about that?
Excellent. Yes, people really like balloons, especially pink ones. With sparkles. They have sparkles on balloons now.
So I take it you like Benatar's better because it's a pink sky? Is that what it is, Gary?
I'm just saying that Benatar, being a professor, he figured out, well, I want to sell some of these books and I actually want people to read it, so I believe I will put something pleasant on the cover. Ha, yes.
So marketing, man. I don't like marketing.
Well, true, but whatever. You have to put something on the cover. No, we really do though. We got to work on this. One of these days, we have to come up with some sort of logo for antinatalism. Like a little upside down, ripped in half fetus or something. Some
That's
sort of
a good idea, like the Scarlet A for atheists.
yeah, the bloody V or something, upside down for antinatalism.
Yeah, that will sell real great.
Yeah, maybe like an afterbirth. Just take a bunch of placenta pictures, and put them on the cover.
Imagine like a
As long as they all have
small
pink
angels, like they're in heaven because we saved them from being born. It's a nice, heartwarming concept.
Yeah, well, I've actually warmed up to the word. I mean, at first, antinatalism just sounded so poopty, faggoty, yucky, but it's growing on me.
You could have like Cupid's, like the baby angel, except like you're holding the bow and arrow and aiming at him.
Yeah, or he's impaled. Cupid is impaled on an arrow, just like on a barbecue spit. Little Cupid, barbecuing a Cupid on his own arrow.
Barbecue makes everything better.
Yeah. Yeah, love this, asshole. So, Nuclear Knight is in the room. I haven't seen her for a little while. How you doing and such, so forth and whatnot. I still gotta send Ujima Flipper his thing. Yeah, I gotta get to that. Gotta get to that. That's all talk without letting our teeth open. So everybody grit your teeth and talk through your teeth. You're Batman? No. I've seen Batman. He doesn't look anything like you.
No, not at all.
Look at my atheist. Yeah, you answered an hour's worth of questions. Any of his questions any good, Paul? Like, did he answer any really good questions, or just the same one? Like, when was the last time you kissed a boy?
A lot of them were kind of shitty. You know, he needs to do what I do and just weed out the shitty ones and just answer the good ones.
Yeah, well, he only gets about 65,000 questions. I mean, it's just so fucking depressing. I mean, I make the most brilliant videos in the world, alright? And I got, like, my last video's got 4 fucking comments on it. 4. It's a fucking brilliant video. It's got 4 fucking comments.
Do you think TAA is, like, honest, though, or is he just, like, going for the fucking...
No, he honestly doesn't give a fuck about anything, okay, that he can't eat, or fuck, or pet.
I think he has opinions. I think he's forgotten them, though.
Well, no, he has opinions. He just changes them every 6 months.
I just think he puts on his face.
Well, whatever. He doesn't put on a face. He really is quite nihilistic. He doesn't give a fuck about anything but how, hey, where's my cut?
Yeah, but that's easy to say. That's easy.
It's not easy to say. It's what he says, quite overtly. Go ahead. Oh, look, do an experiment, okay? Go get your sister drunk and have her hang out over TJ's house, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. I would totally do that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I trust him with my drunk.
Yeah, go ahead. You trust him.
He'll roll over and squish her. No, I'm not gonna agree to that, sorry.
I think he gets his views from his name. I think the name, he's got a good name.
Yeah, well, that was part of it. I mean, he had the thing going there. But yeah, he's changed so much. It is kind of funny when you think about the old TJ with his 2-foot-long hair, and, you know, he was kind of intimidated by it all and kind of awkward. And it's just so funny what he turned into.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, though. I think what he's turned into has a lot to do with the attention he's gotten and shit like that. Like, he's been transformed by the audience, not as much as, like, by himself, from his own, like, core views.
I don't know. I haven't seen his brother
He
lately.
does a lot of production, I think.
Brother lost all credibility. I remember his last video his brother did was just so funny. He was like being all tough guy, punching the wall and shit, and you know, like he was all badass. It was kind of funny.
There's a kid in the movie Wedding Crashers that reminds me of TJ's brother. I want to see that emo.
Well, I have a reason not to see it now. Thank you.
It's funny. He's being made fun of because of how he is. So.
Not Tommy from the Bronx. You get along with him now?
Well, I see him every like 3 months or something. He does something, says something. I says, okay, there's Tommy. But that's how much we get along.
You know, I was reading Bertrand Russell's Problems of Philosophy the other day, and he was wrong about a few things.
Oh. Yeah, well, like what? Let's see, what was he wrong about? I don't know, I can't think of anything. Yeah, I can't even think of a Bertrand Russell quote off the top of my head. People should not name their child Bertram. Okay, it gives them a complex.
That's probably what happened. It's back.
Ah, internet crash.
Orders restored.
So Bertrand Russell, in Bertrand Russell's Problems of Philosophy, he talks about what he calls universals. It's basically Plato's ideals or ideas or whatever, but it's stuff like relations, but relations wouldn't exist without things. You need things for there to be whatever universals are, you know.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think relations are like a thing in itself.
But how
Like,
can you have a
it has
relation? I don't.
Or between nothing and
Relations are necessarily between.
Or between nothing and itself.
What relation is there between nothing and nothing?
Nothing. Yeah.
How can you even talk about nothing?
To explain fundamental flaws in certain concepts.
But if you talk about nothing, like if you talk about nothing, aren't you kind of implying that it's something?
Oh, it kind of is something. I mean, it's a part of existence. Like, it's strange to put boundaries on like what is and what isn't. Personally, I don't think nothing's like it's a part of our reality. I think there's just everything.
Well, whatever. All that, it's all fucking mush. Look, everything can be described. You can put everything in a container.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what matter sort of allows you to do. You can contain it within groups and classes, and you can identify similarities. So why are you fucking, what is this bullshit? It doesn't, we can, why is describing everything any different than describing cars or describing mouses or goldfish or anything? Why are those things so easily described, and why is the universe all of a sudden a mystery?
It's a bit more complicated than cars.
So what? How is it different in principle? Are you suggesting the universe is something other than matter? Are you suggesting that it's something other than matter in a form or a shape or a configuration? No. Okay, it's just bigger. But we understand that's the idea of it, right? I mean, we had an idea of what was out in there in the universe, and then we got telescopes, and guess what? It found out it's pretty much exactly what we figured.
Well,
I think it's what it really is. It's what Cosmic Man down there said. It's the scale. The complication comes from how large it seems. I think a car is something that you can see in its entirety, or at least it appears to be in its entirety. the universe is an abstraction even.
Well, whatever. You say it's an
if we
abstraction,
understand.
it's not. We know certain principles and what it's acting on, okay? And again, it's not that complicated. We've cut it down to the elements. We understand a lot of the energy transfers and shit. So it's not that fucking mysterious.
The universe we live in isn't particularly abstract. Like, the things we create are very abstract, like networks and fucking internet and the communication through computers. Like, it's ridiculously abstract, but...
Well, I don't even know why would you even say that? It's ridiculously functional. So calling it abstract again, I think is a perversion. It's not abstract. It's really quite explicit. It runs on systems. You obey some fucking rules. It's like a programming language or something. I mean, it's not really abstract.
Sure, but it's not like you need to know how it works to use it, though. I mean, that's kind of a difference. Like, a plant needs to know, or like, not know, but the things need to, like, exist and come together in a certain way for it to function. It doesn't really work in the same way. Like, we need certain people to create it, and then we can use it however we want.
I understand, but I guess the point I would argue here is this is another example where people throw jargon or words into conversations, and those words blow up because people have different definitions of them. So why mess with a word like abstract when we are not going to have agreeable definitions of what that word means? It's like Greytex just made a video talking about objectivity again, and he has this silly definition of objectivity, like objectivity is when you put an object in front of you. So if you can't put something in front of you, you can't objectively analyze it. And it's just such bullshit. You know, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Like, just keep the dictionary handy.
How do we know what words mean if we don't further...
Well, I'm just saying that's why it'd be good just to not use some of the ones that are ambiguous and full of shit. So if we just avoid the word and use the definition instead. So try not to say abstract. Try to find some other way to say it. Use 3 or 4 extra words. Because people will keep breaking the rules here. And if you're going to say abstract, then include the definition. I mean, you know, I often do that when I often do that when I talk about something objectively. I always try to emphasize the point that when I'm saying objective, I'm saying detached from subjective influence, from personal gain or interest, or objective in the sense that you're from a point of view that is not intimately involved in the thing you're judging or analyzing. So, I mean, well, I'm just saying, I was just illustrating the fucking point that a lot of conversations get fucked because somebody uses jargon, okay, like a Professor Anton, or like, for example, your use of the word abstract 3 times, is that this fucking word is a non-starter.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I would say I don't think abstract is that abstract, but I guess I could posit the phrase, you know, difficult to contextualize or difficult to understand as a substitute when, you know, comparing, you know, a car and the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying though. That's probably safer, because I'm just saying once you use the word like I said, abstract just there's 2 different ways you use abstract. You use abstract in like not real, okay, like a model, or you could use abstract to say yes, a perversion or a distortion or a bending of the reality, you know, that kind of thing. So abstract is a dangerous word. It has more than one meaning depending on the context.
Usually when I use like big words like that can kind of mean anything. It's when I actually try to incite some kind of discussion regarding what that would mean in the context of the discussion.
Well, and that's why I chimed in, because there isn't anything abstract about the universe. There isn't anything abstract about our knowledge of the universe. The only argument really being made here is that the universe is big, but that argument can be defeated because the function of the universe is consistent and simple. And so the only real thing that we don't have is we don't have a videotape of the origins of the universe, and so that leaves us with a little bit of mystery, like how did it happen, or where did it come from, or that kind of bullshit. But we sort of know it's bullshit because we'd asked the same stupid question about where we came from, and we know where we came from. A stupid fucking cell reproduced. So no huge mystery involved. No, like, brain surgeons got together and say, let's make a fucking cell that reproduces, and then let's, like, buzz off to, like, the other galaxy. No, that didn't happen. Well, it really is quite amazing. I mean, there are a bunch of atheists who pretty much don't believe in abiogenesis. I mean, they really do think, like, UFOs did it. Or you know, like, it came on a meteor. You know, they can't accept that just, you know, that chemistry evolved into biology. They just can't accept it. They still have to have an origin. They still have to have a god. But they don't call him God. They just call him Mysterio or whatever. But it's just so fucking, it's just so transparently fucking, you've just done the same thing. You just did a fill in the blank with God again. I mean, where did your aliens come from? Did they evolve on some other planet through natural selection? Okay, we didn't evolve from another planet through natural selection. We were imported and implanted here. But the aliens who implanted us, yeah, God made them. Yeah, God made the aliens, and the aliens made us. I mean, it's just so fucking idiotic.
Usually when scientists say stuff like that, it is because it doesn't really have any implications on reality, so they can just say it, and then it's like whatever. Like the reality doesn't change. Like our current situation.
You're missing the point. The point is that yeah, people need to have this grander creator because that's the only place they can find purpose. You can't find purpose in tic-tac-toe by looking at tic-tac-toe. You look at it, you say, stupid, dumb game, only a retard can play it. Now, the only way you can aggrandize it is to say, but Einstein invented it. Yeah, Einstein invented it. So now it's cool as fuck, and everybody wants to wear tic-tac-toe on their shirt because fucking Einstein invented it.
Just the fact that I'm me and I'm so awesome is like enough of a grandiose idea for me to sustain my ego.
Whatever on that one. Haha, dentist can't get in. Everybody stay docked so dentists can't get in.
There is a free slot, isn't there?
No, that's mine. I'm actually filling it and you just don't know it. No, it's actually yours, you dope. No, I don't know. Look, there does seem to always be a blank spot, but I don't think it's blank, obviously. Hey, it is blank. So dentist could have got in.
No, it's good.
Yeah, dentist was a loser.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how it looks since like it's fully docked, but there's one extra. Since I see mine, I don't see mine.
Yeah, well, you just keep adding extra when we already resolved this. All right, we resolved this like I don't know what it was. What 32 seconds ago? We resolved it. Oh yeah, it is a regular dock. And now you're just adding 30 extra seconds full of stuff we already know now. You're a little bit like Bandit that way, but at least you're not repeating yourself.
I don't like the quiet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll have our little neurotic things. So Mary's doing the lipstick thing tonight. She has a little neurotic lipsticky thing. She must have got chapped lips today or something.
When it's quiet, you let the world back in.
Whatever that means. I don't know what the fuck that means. Whatever. When it's quiet, I get sleepy, and I go to the couch and lie down. Nuclear Knight's doing what? What is he doing? Hitler things.
Let's make Hitler faces. Yay! Hitler faces! Hey, I saw this interview where the governor of New Jersey, the fat guy, said that he owned a lot of property in Mendham. Do you know anything about that?
Whatever. Yeah, no, I don't keep. The guy's a turd. So yeah, apparently he owns a house here somewhere. I don't pay any attention though. Whitney Houston lives down the road. I don't pay no attention to that either.
Whitney Roll.
Oh God, I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Good place to keep it is in your mouth.
Missed a good opportunity to aim on someone.
So where did all the smart people go? Stuck with a bunch of idiots in here. Well, more
Smart.
still there.
I'm an idiot.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Well, if you're on the East Coast and you're in here, you're probably not smart. Because you're still there.
Point isn't whether I'm smart. The point is whether you're an idiot. Man, Morph was chain smoking right in my face. It's pretty fucking rude. Bastard. God, I want a cigarette.
Yeah, how are those e-cigarettes?
Yeah, but
I read a lot about that. A part of the tobacco high is actually the carcinogens fucking up your immune system so you feel differently, and a lot of people miss that when they vaporize nicotine like you do. It's the same with weed. A lot of people
Yeah, well, that's
use
not
it
all of
also
it. I don't think so. No, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Not all of it.
You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Look, the point is when you burn it, okay, when you burn it, okay, you do more than vaporize it, okay? You turn the nicotine into little tiny little pieces. And then you inhale the little pieces. And so you get, you know, so you get a lot more of it. I mean, this vaporizer thing, the nicotine is trapped in a bunch of, moisture molecules and other kind of molecules, and it's just not as absorbable. But it's cheaper, so I'm doing it.
Pretty close, though, isn't it?
What's your cigarettes in Jersey, Gary?
Whatever, $763,433 a pack.
Hey, that's cheap.
Yeah, it's just every time it's like somebody asks that question, you say something like, "Oh yeah, well they're $7 a pack," and then some asshole says, "Well they're $12 here." Yeah, I just don't know how anybody go. I mean, I would just go insane if I was still paying all that money.
So,
They're $4.20
you
here.
think that you complain a lot about tobacco taxes. Do you think that the increase in like cancer and stuff?
Well, look, I'm not going to even argue. There was no increase in cancer. There's no. All this is bullshit, okay? Cigarette smokers die after the age of 60. They're a huge net beneficiary to the economy. They don't collect their Social Security. They're less expensive to Medicare and Medicaid. The ones who cost you a fortune are the motherfucking alcoholics. So why don't you tax them first? They kill a bunch of kids on the highway. They do a whole bunch of social damage. They create a bunch of fucking, nutty gamblers and all kinds of other bullshit behavior. So why don't you deal with that problem first, and then you can worry about correcting my lifestyle choice that has nothing to do with you, you asshole. Okay? I mean, this is just a lying bunch of bullshit. The only reason why they're being taxed is because it's a minority vice and the majority can get away with it. And that is it. It's completely unconstitutional.
I really kind of hate the whole, social essentially politicking. People try to legislate their own morality on other people. And it comes from the left just as much as from the right, with, cigarette taxes and everything like that.
Again, it has nothing to do with moralizing, has nothing to do with any of that shit. It has to do with stealing money. Are you stupid or what?
Yep, and they call it the sin tax.
Yeah, and it's obviously the minor sin, okay? Yeah, you tax cigarettes at 800%, you tax alcohol at 22%. 800 versus 22. Now you make sense out of that. Are cigarette smokers 800 times more dangerous than alcoholics? I don't think so.
Well, nicotine is like 800 times more addictive.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, that's, again, you keep talking about it like it matters. How the fuck does me smoking in my fucking house have anything to do with your social interest? Oh, that's right, it has absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, on the other hand, what does big giant cars driven by drunken assholes have to do with your social interest? Oh, that's right, you have a huge social interest. What about all those battered women? What about all those abused children because of fucking alcohol, idiots? Yeah, so you have a huge social interest in taxing alcohol. You have no social interest in taxing cigarettes. If you get all the rest of the cigarette smokers to stop smoking cigarettes, all you'll accomplish is you'll have to spend another $1 trillion a year on Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. So good luck with that, morons.
I agree with you that they are exploiting a certain demographic though.
That's right, they're exploiting a minority that has absolutely no representation in Congress because it's not a segregated minority. So if you're not a segregated minority in this fucking cunt democracy, you have no rights, you have no protections, you have nothing. Because it's a shit democracy. And as long as the courts don't defend our rights, we have no fucking rights.
Do they tax your electronic cigarette stuff the same way?
No, they outright banned it. You can't legally produce it or sell it in this country because they knew it would cut into their tax revenue. So isn't that marvelous? So you have the perfectly healthy alternative that has no fucking carcinogens in it, and they won't let somebody produce it and sell it in this fucking cunt country. Why? Oh, because, well, we can't let people switch over to that shit because then they won't pay our fucking taxes.
Do they synthesize nicotine or do they actually extract it?
Well, you can't synthesize nicotine, so of course they extract it. Well, you can't. What? Economically, you can't synthesize nicotine. What? It costs you what? About $1 million an ounce. What are you going to make nicotine out of?
Expensive as well.
You have to extract it. Oh, whatever. It's taxed also, but it doesn't matter. Why would I? I'm a cigarette smoker. I'm not a chewer.
I've actually been trying to quit since I picked it up, but god damn it, I love the fucking convenience of having a cigarette.
I like to smoke. It's kind of fun to like. It's something to do,
Well, whatever. I don't care what your reasons are for doing it. My point is that I'm a fucking addict. They have no right to tax me for doing something in my privacy, my own fucking house. It's just a pile of shit. And at minimum, if they want to stop kids from smoking, they ought to make cigarettes illegal. You should only be able to get them through prescription. So if you're addicted, you should be able to get all the cigarettes you fucking goddamn want, and that's the way they should be distributed. Period. If they really gave a fuck about kids. If that was really what they wanted to do, was stop kids from ever picking up the habit, then just make the cigarettes inaccessible to them. Period. Problem fucking solved. Yes, it is.
No more candy flavored cigs.
Well, candy flavored cigarettes is actually legal in a lot of places. It's still legal in a lot of countries. I was in Egypt, I think, and I bought some apple flavored tobacco. It's really good. It's really nice.
Well, who cares? It's a secondary issue to the fucking goddamn point. I don't care. People are not seduced into cigarette smoking, okay? So let's not even play this stupid game like, oh yeah, it's the candy and the cigarettes. It's like the prize in the fucking what do you call them? Cracker Jack. Yeah, it's the prize in the Cracker Jack. That's why people buy Cracker Jack. It's just for the prize. I mean, stupid.
It's a pretty color.
That's what seduced me.
Well, then you're so fucking retarded. You know what? They should have just used it as an IQ test, and you should be in a fucking institution right now because you're a fucking idiot. All right? If you started smoking cigarettes because the pack played, you know, Edelweiss, then you're a fucking retard.
They tried to put me away, but I got it.
Marketing plays a huge part of everything.
Oh, it doesn't play a part in any of it. It's just a lie, okay? All marketing does is switch between brands. All right? It's like you're talking such shit. You think Coca-Cola markets their product because they got to get people to drink Coke because they don't know how to drink soda, so Coca-Cola has to teach them how to be soda addicts? No. All they're trying to do is steal market share, you moron. And cigarettes were advertised because one brand wanted to outsell another brand, moron.
And here I was thinking that people advertise products to get people to buy products.
Yeah, they get them to buy a product with a fucking specific name on it, you stupid shit. What do you think? General Motors tried to sell any kind of car? They just did commercials for cars. Yes, buy a car. Cars are cool. Yes. Any kind of car. Don't buy our car. Just buy any old fucking car because cars are cool. Is that the kind of commercials they put on TV, you fucking asshole? Does Exxon put on commercials just saying how cool gasoline is? Gasoline is really cool. Gasoline is great. Buy some gasoline.
Or the Geico commercials. They're telling you to buy any insurance.
Well, people have limited funds, so of course it's all like...
That sounds kind of a
about
bad
the product.
example.
All that shit is competition.
Well, the point is I don't think you're going to find anybody with an IQ above 60 who started smoking because of a fucking TV commercial.
I kind of started smoking when I was young because it was like edgy and adults were doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You did it because of peer pressure or some other kind of mechanism, but it wasn't no fucking TV Joe Camel told me to do it.
That's exactly right.
My mom smoked, and I used to steal them from her all the time.
Yeah, I was just in that period, you know, I was like 11 years old, and we were just always trying to up each other, and so we started smoking pot, and then we started smoking cigars, and, you know, once you hit the cigars, you're fucked, you know, because that's, you know, you don't realize you're getting the nicotine, you know.
The Camel guy was kind of cool, though, with the glasses and shit.
Whatever, fuck you.
I want to be like him.
Whatever, fuck you.
I always just thought he got good prices on his gasoline.
Whatever, it's just such a crock of shit. Women smoke now for the same reason men used to. Women have become preposterously competitive. I mean, they're desperately doing the cool thing, you know, for the last 20 years. I mean, when I was a kid, you didn't worry about women starving themselves to death. You didn't, you know, women weren't getting breast implants. Women weren't doing all this other stuff. They weren't all hysterical about this crap. I mean, women have become incredibly competitive.
That's what feminism did. You have to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you know, turned women into obnoxious men. Let's see, what do we... Oh, yes, let's figure out all the rotten things that men do, and let's do those things. So let's fart and drink, and then get a beer belly, and, you know, look like shit. Yeah, we'll be just like men. We'll smell, too. It'd be cool.
Yeah, brown nosing to climb career ladders, so much fun.
Yeah, join the military, kill people. Yeah, it's cool.
And they really stab themselves in the foot. I mean, Christ, the freedom.
Well, I mean, it's
the
just
lack of
disappointing.
responsibility
The women couldn't they couldn't use their liberation to become great human beings. You know, instead they mimicked fucking apes.
Well, that's why you gotta go for like Asian or European women.
Yeah, they know how to treat a guy, Asian women at least. You can depend on them.
Well, whatever. I heard stories about them too, though. They'll use you up. Yeah. You know, they'll love you and leave you.
Oh, you won't fucking me?
Asian.
Yeah, like Bernie Madoff's wife, there's a real woman with integrity.
Oh.
Margaret Thatcher wasn't a woman. You idiot. God, you fell for that? Oh, fuck. Come on. You've seen Monty Python? Come on. It was like John Cleese or something. She was like a cliche of a man in drag. She was just like the perfect man in drag. I mean, it was just like so obvious. Oh, I'll even have a silly voice and sound just completely preposterous, like nobody could possibly have ovaries and sound quite this ludicrous.
I don't know. I always thought, what was her face? The fucking bitch who worked for Clinton. Janet Reno. Janet Reno. I always thought she was the most mannish woman ever.
Well, yeah, she was more of a... Yes, but she wasn't like a man in drag. She was like just a man.
Monica Lewinsky.
She was just a woman with a big rear end disorder.
Dangerous.
Oh, don't even talk about that shit. Oh, God. Oh. Well, I saved it because it was a memento. You know, yeah, memento. Oh, yes. Oh, I remember those golden days in the hallway where you spunked on me.
Hey, she always had a snack with her anyway.
Did y'all see that stage collapse in Indiana today?
Back in a bit. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Leave, see if I care. No, I really don't need sex. I mean, I get a lot of sex. What I need is something that means something. Oh, somebody typed a whole paragraph. Fucking lunatics.
You know, Gary, what would probably mean something would be having a kid, but I know that would go against your philosophy.
Oh, yeah, well, that would really mean something. Yeah, I love when I blow the woman's vagina all to pieces by having the kid fly out of it. Yeah, it's so meaningful.
Everybody who's done it, though, says that it does something to them.
Well, whatever. Makes them
You
poorer.
ever felt dirty after having sex?
Now the kid flies out and then chops your balls off.
Yeah, well, it certainly chops your wife's vagina off. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah. You want to cut your sex life down. Yeah, pop out a few of them babies.
Pop up child support.
Yeah, well, you don't have to have the baby with what the fuck? Sorry, it's somebody outside. Crashed a car or something.
I doubt they really crashed it. Just drunk. Wow, dentist guy has a tattoo. Wouldn't think he would be a tattoo kind of guy. Yeah, well, you have everything when you're giving birth. Yeah. I had the biggest bowel movement ever. You have everything when you're giving birth. It all flies out. I'm sure. Yeah, I just can't wait till my next life when I get to be a dumb, ignorant slut and get to birth me some babies.
I don't know, I was just going to say, you don't have to have the baby with your actual sex partner or wife. You could just...
Well, whatever, dentist guy. I don't even know where you're going with this shit. What the fuck? That is not my definition of meaning. Oh, well, let's create a new human being to worry about, and that'll give our life meaning. No, I don't like that idea.
I know.
I like sex.
Philosophy. I was just saying that it might trigger some biological response.
Well, I don't know why it would do that. Why the fuck would it do that, okay? There's no biological response bullshit. I mean, that's all a canard. Alright, we're biologically made to stick our penises in vaginas. We're not biologically made to give a fuck what pops out of the damn things.
I think we should just keep fucking until the inevitable collapse. You know? I mean,
yeah, right. And then we can all get guns, and then we can shoot each other. And yeah, we can, like, well, in the first 10 years, we could wipe out 1 billion people horribly. And then in the next 10 years will be even better, because like most of them will die of like starvation and shit really slow, so that'll be even cooler. And then the 3rd billion will kill. I mean, come on, fuck you. I mean, what's the fucking point of doing it? Why? What's the fucking point of doing it the dumb way? Yeah, let's do it the dumb way. Let's just crash and burn. That'll be clever.
Not clever, but inevitable, yes.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's a completely useless point. I mean, fuck.
Well, it's not useless. It's just it's good to know, because
it's useless. It's useless. The whole fucking point is to figure out how we can make it different or better, not to figure out how. Oh yeah, well, the human race, the planet Earth is going to burn into the sun. Well, duh. But guess what? There's going to be a whole bunch of living taking place before that happens.
How do we make it better?
We start plugging up the fucking vaginas. We start making us goddamn uterine cement. And we cement up all the fucking uteruses.
Or just, you know, you could volunteer to chop off some nuts, starting with your own.
Well, fuck off, moron, idiot, fuckwit, jackass. Douchebag.
Any more impotent insults?
Oh, well, no, they're not impotent. They're big, fat, juicy, drooling dick, and I just shoved it right in your fucking ear, you stupid ass wipe.
I can almost feel it. It's like a cute.
Yeah, we know you can almost feel it. That's right. You that's what they all say at first. I can almost feel it, and then they scream.
Can't afford kids this day and age. Random, I heard you had 20 kids.
Well, I guess you need a hearing aid.
Hey, did you ever check that link I sent you about male sterilization technique?
I guess I didn't, because I couldn't give a fucking rat's ass.
Where you inject that stuff?
No, I didn't. Why would I, really, it's not my issue. I don't have any problem not having kids. Anybody with a little bit of discipline can figure out not to have kids, so whatever. I don't need...
Well, it's just, I hear you talking more about plugging up uteruses, and I hear you talking about plugging up...
Well, look, we know where the baby grows, right? So, look, women got the bigger burden here, okay? They get pregnant. They got the egg, okay? So, yeah, that's the one you got to stop.
Well, I mean, clearly if you stop the male too, like, you don't...
Well, you're just not getting it. Let's say there's a huge deer population in New Jersey. Now, if we chose to do it through sterilization, the last thing you do is cut the nuts off the males, because one male can impregnate 100 females. So it's not the right way to go. The way to go is to sterilize the females. I'm not saying men shouldn't do whatever they got to do. I'm just saying I'm perfectly capable of not having kids by accident. I mean, if somebody's having kids by accident, then okay, let's send them to a fucking website.
Point of view I agree with. I've always felt that it is the woman's responsibility. It is the woman's body. Even if the woman states to the man that she's using protection, she's not always it. So if she gets pregnant, it's her problem. It shouldn't be his problem as well, because in terms of trust of what she said, because they can't be trusted.
Exactly, something like that anyway. But that's, it always reminds me of like seahorses, because it's so fucked up, because like they do this exchange thing, like the eggs get fertilized in the woman seahorse, and then she injects the eggs back into the male, who gets pregnant. And you're saying, damn, if we had a system like that, we could like solve this problem so easy, because yeah, the men could just say, fuck you, bitch, I ain't accepting those. You keep them. And then she'd just like spit them out or something. That'd be the end of the whole damn thing. But it's such a weird... That's some weird... Seahorses is some weird biology going on there. Like, you just figure, how the fuck did they evolve into that wacky little thing in the first place? I mean, they're wacky looking. And they got this whole fucking wacky rituals. But it just sort of demonstrates how, like, evolution is got these weird quirks to it. Because you're just saying, like, how could it possibly be to your advantage to transfer the eggs from the female to the male? I mean, why the fuck would you do that? Ugh, whatever. Chat's going on all these anti-penis talk now. Don't let the penis in. Don't let the penis in. Look, life is just a head game anyway. And I mean head game. Head. So it's all an illusion.
Penis?
Yeah, well, women, whatever. Let's not. Well, I don't want to get into the whole thing about what women want, but women want to be wanted. You know, and that's really what it's about. Yes, but men want to be wanted in a very superficial way, where women want to be wanted in a, like, I want you to love my neural connectivity. Yeah, well, whatever, bitch. Yeah, men just want you to, like, say something like, you know, wow, you have the biggest feet in the world, or, you know, just something like you're the best at. Oh, you're the best, like, guy who stands in the corner, guy in the world. You know, just they just want it to be something like, oh yeah, I'm great, and yeah, that's all. Yes, life is superficial in its own way. Life is preposterously stupid. Yeah, well, women gotta be careful with that pecker huge thing, because obviously men kind of know. They kind of know, so that she can't go like huge if it ain't huge, you know, that kind of thing. So they gotta find something else, you know. It really isn't gonna work on some men. I mean, yeah, you just can't, you know. You know, they're not gonna know the truth, and they're gonna say, she's just lying to me now, damn bitch.
Chicken.
I thought it was cows or something. Weren't you talking about bovines or something before? And now you move on to chickens.
Sorry. That was cattle before.
Yeah, well, whatever. Jesus.
Turkey.
I mean, how can, look, I mean, just take the average Stickhamite. You could just say this. Why would you preserve this? Why would you perpetuate this average Stickhamite? Bovine. Sheeps. I mean, what? What? Ask a silly question. Yes, here's a silly question in the chat.
Hippopotamuses.
Whatever. What is PIV again? Sorry, I didn't check the whatever the acronym explanation. Oh, penis and vagina. Oh, sorry.
Hey, you gotta keep it wrapped.
Oh shit! It's only 2:30. Fuck. Come on, people. Gotta move along here. It's slowing down. Well, I've already seen all those movies, right? You recommended like movies I've already seen, didn't you? Well, no, that dead thing or whatever. I haven't seen that yet.
How about Obama?
Fuck Obama. With somebody else's dick. A little short, skanky, disease-infested dick. Yeah, I saw The Big Lebowski. It's a good movie. The Dude Abides. Didn't make any sense, though. The movie was just totally whacked. Oh yeah, 12. Yeah, all right. Okay, I haven't seen it. All right, it's true. I haven't seen any of those movies. Well, I ain't buying them, so fuck it. I actually did watch like 2 movies this week. I watched Terminator 2, and I watched a couple good ones. What the hell else was the other fucking movie? Yeah, I can't remember. Such great movies, can't remember.
I watched The Wild Bunch this week. That was a pretty good movie.
I bet the other one was Napoleon Dynamite.
Whatever. Yeah, Life of Brian, that's classic stuff there. Crack Suicide Squad? Attack!
Night of the Living Dead.
It is Life of Brian. What the hell are you talking about?
There are some fun, like, deep philosophical movies.
Well, Life of Brian was very different than the first movie, but whatever. I mean, I don't know how you can hate Monty Python. I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's just funny shit.
When 8 Days Later, it was a great zombie movie.
Yeah, zombie movies suck.
Yeah, most of them do.
Good movie would be one of Jesus freaking.
He should be the zombie. That would be really scary.
Yeah, I didn't really, Benny Hill was too literate for me, I guess. I mean, I didn't like all the, I hate that vaudeville kind of stuff. It was just all vaudeville stuff, and they do all those limericks and shit, and I hated that crap. But the only thing good was, you have the babes doing exercises or something, I remember that was my favorite Benny Hill episode, was like women doing exercises to music. Yeah, okay, that's cool, I like it. Yeah, well, they're high school, you know what I'm saying. You gotta be a kid to like that shit.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, well, whatever, makes good movies, but he's a shithead.
Did you see Arnold's first comeback movie after being governor is going to be him playing a cowboy?
Well, that's not going to work. I mean, that has fail written all over it, don't it?
Yippee-ki-yay, get up lovely the doggy.
Okay, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, well, whatever, I just, you watch the first time, it's like, ooh, that was really nasty and shit, and then, but that's it. I mean, I just don't get the whole horror movie thing. you always see yourself just being played. You know, you're just saying, okay, so they make me care about this character, but you're going to kill this character, blah blah blah. I mean, you just see it all coming.
See, you might like the newer horror movies then, because in newer horror movies, none of the fucking characters are likable. They're all fucking assholes.
Yeah, I suppose, but yeah, I'd rather they just like go into a supermarket and start shooting people. And then let's watch that movie. You know, shoot them up. Just some random guy, just film him shooting everybody. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, Boys from the Hood.
Yeah, death comes after addiction.
Kind of addiction.
It's all addiction. Maggot soup. Or, you know, whatever. Little charry stuff.
So, Gary, what's with that naked rabbit guy?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about Fred. You know, it's worrying me a little. But yeah, he hasn't really been on subject for a month. I don't know. I mean, Fred's a really smart guy. I mean, he's really understands language and concepts and how to think about thinking. But yeah, I just don't know why he's gone this loopy. I do in a way. I mean, I understand the whole like desperate need to find some sort of beauty or meaning or some sort of expression. It's almost like poetry for you. You know what I mean? It's like this is his poetry. The rabbit shit is his poetry, and it's his metaphor. And so he's trying to make it mean something.
Yeah.
I guess, you know. And it's. I mean, I'm not saying he's failing, but you know, there's a point where it's just, yeah, what the hell is that? I mean, his last one, I guess the video, he made a video that's on Blip, where he takes a piece of wire and it's shaped like a cliche big busted woman, and he puts it on the stove and heats it up, and then he puts his arm on it. You know, so I guess he burned, you know, the wire image into his arm, you know, like a form of tattoo. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? I mean, what the fuck is the point? You know, and incidentally, I had just burned my finger that day, you know, and it really hurt. You know, it was like an irritating on the back of my finger, right on the knuckle. So every time I bent my finger, I'd feel it. And I'm just thinking, like, why? What the fuck are you doing, you retard? What? You're proving something? Oh yeah, you know, you're the toughest kid in high school. I mean, it was just so fucking lame.
He likes me.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It's just too well, whatever. I shouldn't even comment on it because it's not my place. But it just seems desperately desperate.
Desperate for views.
Well, I don't think he's after views. I don't think that's it. I just think he's.
I'll never understand artists.
Life crisis.
Yeah, well, that's what all I can chalk it up to is that he's, you know, he's
I kind of like it though.
it's
Carry on.
kind of a desperate way to maintain your virility or something, you know.
Validates his existence.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's a silly way to validate your existence. That's all I'm saying. It's juvenile. So that part is. I'm sorry. It's just juvenile.
How about that Jesus?
Whatever. Not interesting.
Yo, what's up, dick face?
Yeah, whatever.
One ugly motherfucker, you know that?
Whatever.
You a racist.
Oh, good.
You racist piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not a racist.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
sound like a racist. Does this guy
Yeah.
sound like a racist? No, he doesn't
Yeah,
sound
last week
like a
you fucking
racist.
kicked me talking shit.
Yeah,
Calling me
exactly.
a taco eating.
Yeah, right.
The name even has clown in it.
And this week, I fucking kicked.
Yeah. Well, whatever. People.
What?
Gee, nuclear night. that's almost above your reputation. Carrying around a male in your body? I mean, come on, damn. You really are turning this into an us and them battle or something.
Mr. Pregnant.
I would abort any pregnancy I had, Shane Julian. I don't want kids. But seriously, I don't know. It's just something about like women who like have boys and then keep them and then raise them. I feel bad for them. Like I have a ton of friends that have these male kids and they're like feminists and I'm just like, how do you deal with it knowing that your kid's like this creep?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, you know, that's sort of a weird, you know, your friend.
That way,
well, I'm just saying, you obviously have friends that are all of the, you know, similar neuroses. So yeah, that's common for you. That's like the common opinion. Well, I'm just saying that it's quite obvious, I think, statistically, that women like to raise sons.
How can you even quantify that?
She's gonna be a slut.
I've had a lot of women tell me like they have kids.
Well, I mean, a woman would know if her kid was going to be a slut. You know, if she was a slut, her daughter's probably going to be a slut. So.
Well, it's like, look, you know what you are, okay? That's, I think, the part of the psychology here is women know what a girl is, okay? But the man thing is such a mystery, and they think they can build one. Like, I'm going to make a man that's going to be a really great man. You know, I think there's a lot of that in there. Like a girl is just too obvious. It's too, they know what buttons to push too well. So it's just not nearly as fun to raise something that's so predictable. Whatever. Women shouldn't want kids. They should find something else to do with their time. Watch soap operas and such. As the lesbians turn. It's got to be some kind of good soap opera they can watch. Yeah, it demands respect, but doesn't get any. That's the catch. Yeah. Yeah, well, Piro might not be here. Just he's got some visitors visiting him and such, so he might not make it tonight. Yeah, well, he annoys the hell out of me as a YouTube personality, but you know we get along in Stickcam okay. But yeah, I mean I just hate his videos. It's like Dentist Guy. I kind of like his videos, but I hate him in Stickcam.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's the opposite. But that's because the name of the room is Debate Amendum, so I just try to think of things to piss you off.
Well, mission accomplished.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't try to piss you off, but I do try to find topics that I disagree on.
You mean topics where you are in error. Futile error.
Well, I don't know. I think I had a pretty good point last week about music. I understood your retort. I don't know if I missed the mic there. I talked about music being good last week, and your retort was, well, music just takes you away from a place, and if you didn't need to be away from it, it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been perceived as good at all because you didn't need to go anywhere. But if you're going from just one great song to the next, then it's not really canceling out a negative. It's just an experience, and a new experience.
Yeah, well, that's the catch, though. I mean, we could argue first about the idea of a new experience. So it'd have to be music you maybe you haven't heard before, because then you're going to be curious. So that's provoking. That's taking advantage of another state of mind. And I think it does have to kind of suit your emotions. I mean, I certainly find that with the music I have. You know, I have one of those little whatever music player things, and I don't use it too often, which is weird. But when I do, well, I guess because I'm always making walk and talk videos. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it really depends on my mood, which songs I like and which songs I don't, you know, on a particular day. And you know, if I'm not in the mood, songs are completely obnoxious.
What's curiosity then? That different state of mind.
Well, I just mean that gets kind of more complicated. Is what's taking place when we need something to. That would be like a pure distraction now, wouldn't it? I mean, curiosity is a way of completely directing your attention. I mean, you know, it's like when you see a movie for the first time, it does suck you in a lot more than the third or fourth time, maybe. But I mean, it's definitely that you know, heightened curiosity is definitely a complete distracting state of mind. I mean, it takes you away from anything you're worried about or thinking about or, you know, whatever bullshit's going on in your head, you're going to definitely escape it.
So well, let's say, I mean, if you had the human that, if you had a consciousness that didn't have it, you can cancel out all the bad things, and it's just neutral. But then you still have curiosity and a distraction. Would that be that or good or neither?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might not be. I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know if I can go through all that psychology and just give you a direct answer and state I know that. But I can't say. But I guess I would argue that no. I mean, if you're in a comfortable state of mind, I'm just saying it's going to be very hard to find. It's like eating food when you're not hungry. I mean, I just don't think it's going to happen. You're just not going to say, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Well, I think there's something interesting here because knowledge is good. It's kind of like, I mean, the entire, and I know I'm not trying to be academic here, but the entire Republic of Plato is a big debate about what's good. And at the end, it seems like knowledge is what's good, or what's agreed upon by Plato, who was talking to Socrates.
Right, I know, but knowledge only has value in that it enables you to solve problems. I mean, that's the good of knowledge, is that it has this potential. We know it has potential to enable us to do shit that's really interesting. We can dance better if we have knowledge. We can, I mean, knowledge is power. So that's why those things go together. But if you don't need power, then knowledge isn't going to have much use.
Also, it feeds curiosity. I mean, if your hunger is, the only hunger you have is curiosity.
Well, I know, but that's still a hunger, isn't it? I mean, curiosity is still a hunger, so there's no real point in saying the only hunger you had, because it would still be a dominating hunger.
Yeah, it is a hunger. I just have trouble seeing it as a bad thing.
Well, who said it was a bad thing? I didn't say it was a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it doesn't, it works as a distraction. I said that. I mean, it's a, and that's where I think it derives the fact that you think of it as a good thing is because it's like sex or something else. It's using other tensions. Like me and Morph were talking about this earlier tonight. I mean, it's all these aggravations and tensions are the things that all your pleasures are built out of. These deprivations, these irritations, all this obnoxious sensation. And so I'm just going to argue that curiosity would also be built out of some sort of negative mechanism. That it would not be. It only appears positive because you're satisfying an unclarified negative. Merely because you haven't recognized the negative state of being. So it's only your delusion that allows you to think. It's like an optical illusion. You're fooled. Okay? It's not that you are seeing the reality in its correct proportions. You're being fooled.
Just to develop the conversation a little bit, one of the things I think that is different from you than from me is that you have more empathy than I do. I think I see suffering in the world on a pretty comparable scale from you, and I agree that it's horrendously unacceptable, but I don't think I feel it on the same level.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't give me too much credit, because a lot of the reason why I feel it is because I do that empathy thing. I do that I selfishly imagine what I would feel like if I was in that circumstance, or what would I do, or so I'm internalizing it in a selfish way. I'm recognizing that other entity as me, or as something in my possession, like my kid, or my thing. And once I turn it into mine, okay, once I bend me into it, however you want to describe that, so then it becomes a self-interest. So that's when I talk about the future, and I start talking about these individuals, I'm thinking about them in terms of them being me. Okay, so I'm seeing my vulnerability extended into the future. Even though it won't be me explicitly, it's close to fuck enough. So it's the same fucking difference, and so I know I'm fucked if I don't stop the future. I mean, that's why, you
Right,
know,
I know what you're saying.
yeah, well, I'm just saying that's the argument I use for why suicide doesn't solve my problem. It solves the immediate problem for this particular arrangement of neurons, but arrangements that are going to be damn similar, almost identical, are still vulnerable in the future. So it's in my own interest to stop this shit.
Is it also, though, in your interest to make other people happy?
Question on that, Gary.
Well, like I said, of course it is, in the sense that there's an equation, and like I said, the thing I'm valuing is the conscious experience. So yeah, at my most disciplined, gracious moments, I would say, yes, give Adolf Hitler his piece of cake too. Because there's no point in torturing anything. There's no point in imposing negative sensation on any feeling thing. So, of course, I would argue that, yes, I have a personal interest in that because I'm personally tied to sentient experience in general. Go ahead, soy guy. Or not.
Okay, how much of an investment should an individual put in towards preventing the feud except for themselves?
Yeah, well, that's a hard question to ask.
In order to prevent that.
I mean, if I could take a pill and make myself into a nuclear bomb, yeah, I would do it probably. So that'd be a pretty big investment. I mean, if I could fly a little kamikaze plane, you know, oh, well, okay, I'd probably do that. I mean, you're always measuring, like, what is your real obligation, and I would figure that I probably should do more than I do. I do jerk off too much. So yeah, I could be more of a weapon, you know, for the destruction of the, you know, ovum fertilization on Earth. But I'm just saying that you sort of find what you're capable of, and so this is so far what I'm capable of. Maybe I'll be capable of more tomorrow, but right now this is the best I can do.
It's just really interesting to hear you say that you would end life without its consent because it was in its best interest, and most life faced with that option.
I guess another way to put the question is, is every antinatalist morally obligated to carry forward their philosophy?
Well, I don't know about moral obligations, but I think, like I said, the equation is obvious. If you think there's a wrong being committed, you have to stop the wrong. So again, to a dentist, if somebody's an imposer, why shouldn't you impose on imposers? I mean, would you kill Dr. Frankenstein, or would you subsidize him? I mean, once his monster exists, his monster isn't going to want to jump off a cliff, but we know that monsters aren't a good idea.
So just thinking of people that would carry a burden of depression or something, they kind of might carry it on to, you know, try to make a difference. Like Dr. Kevorkian lived a long time.
Yeah, well, like I said, these are you're asking questions that don't really have explicit answers. Okay, there's just it's not like, shall I go drink and drive? Well, we know the answer to that. All right, but to predict to you what the best way to roll these dice is, the best way to get the most out of your life in terms of creating the best impact, well, that's fucking impossible. I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure talking about it's going to make any difference at all. I can argue that, okay, yeah, well, I've probably convinced a few people not to have kids, so that's sort of productive. But yeah, the catch is their kids could have been the ones, like a pyro theory or something, that really made a difference in the future, because they would have been so aware and conscious of the problem, and they would have blah 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 been the next Martin Luther King or some kind of bullshit. So I can't be sure I'm doing the right thing. I can only do the best I fucking can. I mean, obviously makes logical sense. I believe the truth is power. I believe the truth should be honored. So even by that simple ethic right there, even if I knew it would do long-term damage, even that, it would still be good. It might be enough of an excuse for me to say, but it's the fucking truth. Yeah, well, there's nothing cool about the experiment, so I think you fail right there. Yeah, well, the monster was just a victim, obviously, so can't really blame the monster. But whatever. The point of the metaphor is just the idea that I'm not imposing. These other people are the ones that are so sure they know the value equation, and it's worth the risk of the muscular dystrophy, it's worth the risk of the childhood leukemia, it's worth the risk of the car accident, it's worth the risk of all the risks that are out there that kid is going to have to endure. Those are all somehow worth it, that they somehow know that value equation is correct. And I'm saying there's no fucking way they can apply that arrogance, honestly.
Seems to me, even if you knew your child was going to be a good force in the world, you're still imposing that responsibility on him without his permission anyway.
Exactly. I mean, it's always going to come down to the right of the dissenter to say no. I mean, you just can't do something that imposes on one individual. You wouldn't do it in your real life. I just don't think you would. I mean, if there was the real life scenario was that you wanted to go on a roller coaster, and the point is you're going to have to drag somebody with you who doesn't, who's going to be made sick by it. I mean, are you going to tell me that you would drag them, force them on the roller coaster so you could do your little fun little roller coaster ride? I'm saying I don't think you would. Most people wouldn't. But there's no difference when you play this life risk game. You're doing the same motherfucking thing. It's exactly it's the same thing. You know there's going to be people who are not going to enjoy their life. That's the risk. And you're saying, fuck you to them. You're saying, I don't care about your dissent. I don't care about your sickness. I don't care about your pain. Okay? I'm doing my joyride. And if you had something to accomplish, like I said, if you were rescuing the universe from a horrible wound, if you were doing fantastic cancer surgery on the universe and saving its wonderful, productive life, or if you were actually accomplishing something, then you could make the argument. But the fact that human race doesn't accomplish a motherfucking thing, but chase its own ass, is why you can't impose. You can't assign the risk to somebody else. So until you can control psychologies and make sure it's only your insane little brain that you're imposing on, you really can't do it. If you're imposing on your clone and your clone isn't programmed exactly like you, well then yeah, you can sit there and torture each other forever, I suppose, as an ethical circumstance. I'd still think it was nutty. I would still blow you up because I would personally declare you insane. But the point is ethically you'd have a right. But that's not what you're doing. You're imposing life on me, which is bullshit.
Yeah, to me, even in the case of a clone, I mean, you're still creating a separate nexus from yourself. That the moment that it's created, it exists in another space, and it's a separate nexus of sensory apparatus, I guess you could say. It's still a separate consciousness. So for me, it would be exactly the same.
Yeah, well, to me that only works if you stopped at biology. You know what I mean? If the clone was just a biological clone, I would agree with you. But I'm saying if it's a psychological clone, you know, if you just get duplicated exactly what you think, what you believe, you know, so if it's an identical you in terms of personality, well then okay, I can't make the argument. I mean, if you want to stick knives in your own head, or you want to stick knives in your clone's head, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? If it's the same programming and you've agreed to do this stick the knife in your head thing, well then go ahead, knock yourselves out. What can I say? Yeah, well, the point isn't about what is painful. The point is painful is not subjective. Painful is the reality. And you don't have a right to impose it. I mean, it is the bill that's paid. That's the currency that life is paid for in. Okay? It's suffering, misery, however you want to describe it. That's the currency that life is bought with. And you can't spend somebody else's money. That's simple. You can't profit from their experience. Without consent. Without consent.
The silliest argument I'm hearing from these guys lately is that somehow procreation isn't a selfish act, and I listened to Anton's videos, and he tried to make that argument, and then every example he gave were examples of a selfish act, and I don't see how they can get around that. It's just utter bullshit.
Yeah, well, Professor Anton obviously he's just eloquent. You know what I mean? He has vocabulary. He can throw words together. But yeah, it's all such crap. I mean, my favorite video is when he was describing all the great things, you know, that we do in our lives that make life worth living. And it's just this long litany of walking the dog and, you know, rubbing the tree and feeling the sun. And, you know, it's all this little, you know, pussy, you know, bullshit that I wouldn't pay $1.50 to do. I mean, realistically, if I had to pull like $2.95 out of my pocket to do all the things on his list, I would say no. Just give me a box of Cheez-Its instead.
That's another big asymmetry, is the difference between pleasure and pain, and the costs and what we'd be willing to pay. Yeah, I saw your video the other day. That was a good point. I was thinking, to deny someone pleasure, like not throwing a birthday party for your kid, is one thing. But to inflict injury or to even take unnecessary risk towards someone, generally, these are deemed crimes, and there's a reason for that, because I believe that doing harm is just exponentially greater than providing pleasure.
Yeah, well, like I said, if we actually did monetize it, if we actually did break it down to an exchangeable common currency, it'd be quite obvious that we would pay much more, you know, to avoid the negatives than to buy the positives.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I totally with you there.
I mean, I've actually had moments where I've thought about that, but you know, there's been times when I've thought about getting a hooker, you know, just in little desperate moments in life. And I actually sat there and I started thinking, like, one minute I'm saying, oh yeah, I'd pay $1,000 for one good night, you know, and then when I think about it some more, I'm like, yeah, but no, maybe 100. You know, then you know, my number starts getting lower and lower, you know, depending on how desperate I am, and it's just kind of, you know, it's just so kind of funny, you know, that when you really think about it, and like now I wouldn't pay $10 because now I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, it's like going to be one night, you'll wake up the next day, you'll feel like an asshole, so what the fuck? Why would you pay for that, you idiot?
Yeah, the cost you're willing to pay is definitely intrinsically tied to the deprivation that you're feeling when you pay it.
Yeah, it's all that hunger. It's right back to the hunger thing and the addiction thing. You know, it just, yeah, how horny are you?
It's funny too because whatever you end up buying is always so fucking temporary.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that's really preoccupying my brain for the last couple of weeks, and it's sort of annoying me, actually. You know, because it really is defeating me in so many ways, because, man, you're like, oh, yeah, fuck it. You know, because, yeah, 3 days later, I'm still fucked. Or, you know what I mean? That whole idea of thinking about the fact of the futility of the accomplishment, or having something. You know, and I'm just, like, defeating my own self by saying, well, yeah, you'll get bored of it in a week. Or you won't even know you bought it, you know, 5 days later. You know, and I'm just completely unraveling my own psychology. It's like, no, you can't live like that, asshole.
Existential buyer's remorse.
Yeah, well, you almost... Whoops. I mean, you can almost psychology yourself into not eating dinner for a month or two. So, Samara, you were saying something, and then you didn't say it, and then you sort of, but you said it, but I didn't hear it.
Oh, I was just thinking about like how we visualize the experience and we're just instantly like, yeah, that would be awesome, and this would be awesome, and this would happen, and this would be cool, and then we start thinking about it, and it's slowly diluted, and then we think about what the actual experience would be, and then it's just like, no, that ain't nothing. That's no.
Yeah, or even better, you start thinking about, well, wait a minute, the other 200 times I did that, it totally sucked, and I thought it was going to be great. It's like concerts, you know, people always talk about concerts, and they usually suck. You know, they won't admit it, but it usually sucks. Sucks balls. They won't admit it, but it does. Yeah.
I was in the hospital for 6 weeks once, and I died a few times, and I couldn't take any liquids or anything. And I remember fantasizing for hours and hours on end about having a piece of candy. And I finally had a piece of candy after about a month of hospital stay, and it tasted like shit.
Yeah, I knew you were a fucking zombie. God damn it. Okay, so the truth is out, you're a zombie. Well, that's no good. I guess you have a shitty, too much Mexican food or something, a few bypasses or something. Too many cigarettes, yeah.
I've got lots of problems with my guts. Yeah, my stomach looks like a fucking road map. I've got so many. My stomach is nothing but pretty much solid scars.
Eek. Yeah, well, I empathize there. I hate guts. I have to get a gutectomy. Yeah, just take out all that gut shit. You know, give me something else. A squirrel and a little wheel.
You have gas.
Yeah, I even came home and I had a nurse for about a month after that.
Yeah, well, I guess the good news is behind you, right? That's always the catch, right? Yeah, well, at least that's over.
Actually, about twice a year, I still have an attack. They never found out what was wrong with me, and for about a week, I basically feel like I've got grenades exploding in my stomach. Happens about twice a year.
Well, yeah, well, I've sort of had the minor part of that my whole life, but it's not grenades, you know, it's like bullets or something. But, yeah, me and my stomach have never gotten along. Always been enemies.
I wonder if a lot of people that so easily marginalize suffering, it's because they haven't really experienced very much suffering and they don't really understand how bad it is.
Well, it's definitely part of it. I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff comes out of rather young minds. But yeah, I mean, you do notice that shit in life. You know, I've had a couple of times in my life where I said, "Holy shit, I thought I knew what a headache was," or "Holy shit, I thought I knew what something." You know what I mean? You're like, I had no clue what real pain was until that magic moment where I want to jump in front of fucking traffic. This is so bad, and you're like, yeah, and then you realize, you know what, Gary? Real pain could be twice as worse. Or it could be 10 times as worse. Maybe you still don't know what pain is. And that's when I really get scared. That's when I'm like, holy fucking shit, what are we set up for? What the fuck are we vulnerable to? Because if it can get twice as bad as this, fuck. I'm a little bit afraid now. You know what I mean? I mean, it just scares the shit out of you. Like, this is what we're set up for? Twice as bad as you know what I mean? The worst experience I had in my life, and I double it, or I triple it, or I quadruple it, and I'm vulnerable to that? Fuck, I want out of here.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
I slipped on a fence and fell right on my nuts when I was 7, and that hurt.
Yeah, Goober Pain makes a good point. Some people live their lives this way, and it's not just physical suffering. I mean, that, which is a terrible thing, and it's really underrated. But psychological suffering too. I mean, millions of people, even in developed countries, are just miserable all the time. And I suspect, to a somewhat lesser level, a lot of people are like that. If you go to a public place. I used to sit on the curb at Disneyland and watch all the faces, and this is the happiest place on earth. And you watch the faces, and most people look like they're really not having a good time.
Yeah, well, especially after you go on that It's a Small World ride, okay? Because that one was like, what the fuck? I wasted an e-ticket on this? Holy shit. But yeah. No, well, look, I mean, that whole broken heart thing, that old unrequited love thing, I mean, that stuff does kill you. I mean, it's, that emotional, psychological defeat is a powerful negative thing. When you're consumed by that self-hatred or something, that's a terrible thing to live with.
Yeah, people kill themselves over that shit.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know, the whole cock thing is kind of fun. I typed in something to fucking Google. I was like looking for Homo erectus or something. Yeah, I was typing in, you know, and I ended up with a bunch of Google images of fucking homosexual penises. And, yeah, it was just bizarre. And then there was like a couple of lesbians, like 2 lesbian images, and the rest of them were all like homosexual penises. But, you know, I hadn't seen penises in a while. I mean, other people's penises. So I'm looking at the penis pictures and shit, and I'm like, okay. And, you know, there was one guy, it was like fucking goddamn huge. But it was fucking, like, way too much personality. I mean, it was going all kinds of places. And you're saying, I don't even know how you'd use that damn thing. But it looked, you know, it looked vicious. You're just like, oh man, you can do damage to this fucker.
Homosexual penises wear the earring in.
Yeah, but it was funny. Yeah, they were all homosexual.
Why are you talking about penis?
Oh, because it just happened to be that that's where the conversation went. That's what conversations do. They go places.
Does that arouse you?
Whatever. It depends on the time of day, I suppose.
If that floats your boat, man, it's okay. We ain't gonna give you hell.
We're gonna flash
it's okay.
boat. No.
If you like the donk, man, it's okay.
You like dolphins? No, I don't like dolphins.
Okay, the penis.
Whatever. 10-year-olds.
It's a great name for one's penis, the dolphin.
Speaking of looking up Google, a friend of ours on an account or whatever, he was looking up in Google something like, can I, and then the first thing comes up is, can I get pregnant from a dog?
Ooh. Yeah, somebody typed that into Yahoo Answers or something. Ew. You know.
First name, probably the second closest is, can I get a dog pregnant?
Oh, yeah, they're both really bad questions. Really bad. How many puppies will it have?
Speaks for our society.
Help me! Help me! Like a fly, little puppies. Peeplies. Peeplies. So, well, that soy guy, what's the story with the wig thing? Like, you ate so much soy, all your hair fell out or something? It's a weird name. Love that soy. I mean, love that cheese it, I could understand, but soy, damn.
Going through chemo right now.
Holy fucking shit, that's no good. stop doing that. What the hell? I didn't know you were doing that shit. I'm sorry.
I read that they've actually managed to cure cancer by injecting people with HIV.
Whatever. It's retarded.
What's on the stash though?
Yeah, whatever. It's retarded. So what do you got? What you got? It's none of my business, but do you got like a blood thing, or do you got like a organ thing? I mean, what kind of problem is it?
Didn't read into the article too much. I'm trying to find it.
Well, whatever. Why bother finding it? I mean, what's the fucking? It's just stupid.
Yeah, it seems to be blood transfusion, certain types of blood cells. Since you were asking.
Yeah, I wasn't asking. But whatever. Oh yeah, a banner would really help. Yeah, the group needs a banner. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, right over. Style over substance, right, Brett? No, whatever. Yeah, maybe I should do all that crap, right? Sure. Yeah, well, you know, DNA is the backup god, so whatever nature says, Mother Nature knows best. I saw her on TV, and if you make her mad, she makes lightning bolts and stuff. Oh yeah, I saw a Thunderfoot video speaking about guys with long hair, and he actually had his hair down. And he's got such fucking girl hair. It's amazingly girl hair. Does he take a shit too? What? I didn't think he'd ask a question. That's. Yeah, I think he does it. Yeah, I think he does. That's probably why his hair so looks like girl hair. Yeah, he probably does that at night. Braids his hair. Yeah, that would explain a lot. Yeah, ever see his neck? I mean, he's got the biggest fucking thick neck I've ever seen. What the hell is that shit?
He really does look like a fucking pea sitting on one of those REIT podiums or fucking what.
Well, it's weird because he's not like he's really buff or something, you know what I mean? He's not like, you know, he's got little girly arms and all that kind of shit. And you're just like wondering, how do you get that thick a neck? I mean, what exercise is he doing to end up with like Schwarzenegger neck? Dick sucking, that's exactly what I was thinking. Damn it. Yeah, that occurred to me. Well, soy guy, yeah, you know, I'd kind of be curious what the hell's going on with you. So if you want to PM me with some stuff, I would appreciate that on one of my channels that you're not blocked on, you know, or something like that. Maybe I could help somehow. I don't know. I don't exactly know. I'm not a very optimistic person, so that's not really good. So, Piero, how's the guest in the house thing going? I don't know. Testing. Can anybody hear me or what?
I can hear you.
It's really laggy.
Oops, I deleted your PM. Haha. Alright, well, something in beta, fine. Whatever. Jeez, turning it into a production. I won't steal it or nothing. Whatever.
No, you didn't. No, it's only a joke stipulation. I'm saying that you have to give me your firstborn child.
Oh shit, yeah, you can have them all. Do they have to be born? Damn. I could just send you the fetuses.
Oh, that's the old trick, right? You sell your soul to the devil for your firstborn child, and he doesn't know you're an anti-natalist.
Yeah, well, whatever. I didn't even know you could sell the soul of your child. That seems a little bit wrong. Well, yeah, if Pyro was my father, I'd disown him, that's for sure. I'd say, you know, Daddy, you is one dumb motherfucker.
Selfish motherfucker.
Yeah, dumb, selfish motherfucker. I'd certainly throw that in there. I think I'll make a sign and protest you. Yeah, I'm gonna protest you, Daddy. How do you like that, you fucker? I'm gonna get a license plate that says, Daddy sucks. Well, look, he only has 2 kids, and they're both girls, which is sort of a good thing. But, I guess it's a bad thing, really, but, you know, I'm being subjectively male at the moment.
Yeah, Vista 10, right. You'd be scared shitless, wouldn't you? Just love. You guys don't know, talking tough on the internet makes you look like pussies, huh?
You live in the jungle.
Yes, I do.
And
The kids grow up in Hawaii and they think about how terrible of a place they were brought into.
Yeah, well, it's windy and covered with frogs. Oh shit. Damn glad I wasn't born there.
Or we.
Hawaii is way overrated. It's rocky and windy, and the ocean is cold, and what else? There's no
Well, you know, there's like 2/3 of the world's ecosystems here, so it kind of depends where you are on the island.
Yeah, I think that's just Hawaii, like, trying to brag or something. I have a really big dick, trust me. 2/3 of the world's animals live here. Yeah, come on. It's fucking Hawaii.
Not animals. Not animals. Whatever. I don't really care where you want to live. It's just not as tough as these chatters think to talk about how tough they'd be on me in various situations. For example, you said something equally, insulting, which I don't care about. It's like, I would say he was a loser if he was my dad. That's fine. See, that's to me, that's different than people that I would piss in his face if he was my dad. Yeah, right. That's realistic.
Well, you know, they're chatters.
Sure you would.
Pyro, you have to take the chatters with a grain of salt. You really do. Maybe some Pepto-Bismol and an aspirin. Salt, Pepto-Bismol, and an aspirin. Yes, then you can tolerate the chatters.
It's just.
Well, Piero, yeah, I did want to ask you a couple of questions just for the hell of it. All right, now, okay, so you're actually...
You just have to, when they're not funny, you have to tell me their jokes.
Yeah, or putting them smiley things on it, like a winky or a smiley or something. A winky? That doesn't sound too good. Put a winky on it. Yeah, no, that's probably not a good idea. But anyway, you know, do you actually have to like go to work, right? I mean, you have like a job where there's a company or something.
Yes, I have a full-time job. Yes.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know. I mean, just because it's so, you know, I mean, the internet is so hard to find that kind of work, and it's just kind of lucky, I guess, that you live near that.
It's not internet related, but I have a lot of experience as a software engineer.
Yeah, so you're doing like software for just like what, internal like accounting software or some kind of crap like that?
I don't want to talk about specifically what kind of software I do.
Okay, yeah, well, now we know. Okay, Piero, he sells potato chips. Yeah, it's potato chip software. Probably works for like Coors, and he's like in the marketing department, and seeing how many I don't know, isn't like Coors trying to annihilate the Jews or something? So he's probably doing the accounting for how many Jews they've almost killed.
What languages do you write in?
I am familiar with many languages. I wrote in C++ for years. I use, right now we're writing Python calling C extensions for the stuff that has to be optimized. I've written in a dozen languages and systems, or more than a dozen if I include systems probably.
Yeah, me too. I've done it very badly. I never finished. Well, no, I get it. I guess I did. I finished the little icon thing. I remember I wrote in C++ for Windows. It did something with the icons. I can't remember what the fuck it was, though. What the hell did it do? I don't know. I can't remember. It was some sort of Windows program. I remember it had icons. That's funny. I don't even remember. But anyway, yeah, so it's like I wrote one program in like, a dozen languages, but yeah, I couldn't write them worth shit.
I want to get into reverse engineering. Seems like a fun, like kind of programming-ish.
Well, that was sort of fun in the early days. Oops, come on, button. That was sort of fun in the early days. Was it's that was my kind of fun, was to debug and break down programs to see how they work. So, but yeah, now they're just so fucking convoluted, that I don't know if it'd be much fun.
It's kind of easier than you'd expect nowadays, still. It's just the larger corporations who have, like, insane protection.
Well, I guess you're just basically uncompiling, though, which is a little different, I guess.
Yeah, reverse engineering is partly, decompiling. And, I mean, you usually decompile it to, like, assembly or some low-level language like that, and read it and modify it from there.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, if you break down a program into assembly, it's going to be like 5 trillion commands. You go insane.
Yeah, but what you do is basically you put like points on certain functions, and when those functions are called in programs, you get like teleported to that part of the code, so you can navigate through that kind of.
Well, I guess you're still doing the same thing. You're just breaking it down to an assembler, and then the assembler is recognizing the programming language functions.
Yeah.
So it's basically doing what I said before, which is, you're breaking it down into you're basically just uncompiling it into its original written language. Well, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's automated to a large point now as well to make up for the difficulty.
Well, I'm just saying that, something Windows would write. I imagine Microsoft probably doesn't use its own products to write its software, so it's probably not written in anything that somebody else would recognize, because they can cheat all over the place, because they can change the functions of their own software. And so theirs would be even more. I'm just saying you almost couldn't decompile it that way, just because the functions wouldn't be calling the same registers, and they wouldn't be working the same way, because they have the ability to backdoor everything. Yes, laters. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, programming languages. Everybody leave the room now. Susan Worm. Wow, there's a name I recognize. Listen, aiding, not listening, aiding. Come on, get it right.
I just went to see Rise of Planet of the Apes. It was awesome.
So what? So this is a third remake of Planet of the Apes, and so okay, they did this again.
No. Remade. No, you know how Planet of the Apes went on, right? And they eventually got into the really B-level Planet of the Apes, considering the Charlton Heston ones is like classic. It's like science fiction literature, whatever. But it's fun. But remember they got back into how they'd become slaves, but they redid it a different way than the original one. That was awesome. It's awesome, and it ends up being like, I think you would like it with all the arguments you make about how humans treat animals. That's really what it's about.
Hey, Pierre, Bro, I have to ask you, since you saw it too, did you fucking cheer when it turned out that fucking asshole pilot was the one who spread the disease?
Didn't he, okay, so what about it being him? You cut out a little bit. What did you think?
At the end, when they're doing the credits and they're showing basically the downfall of the human race, and it turns out it was that asshole fucking pilot from the beginning of the movie who pushed the dad and made Caesar go to the fucking ape sanctuary shit. I was so fucking happy when it turned out he was the fucking carrier. I was like, yes!
I don't know, that was funny. That guy also had a lot of trouble. I mean, but yeah, no, the film was full of those kinds of things where it was sort of amazing how they threaded through, you know. I don't even want to, I loved it so much, and I normally don't care about spoilers, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm not going to say much. But it was great.
Yeah,
Also, I gotta say, I don't want to spoil it any more than I already have. That fucking bridge scene was really amazing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just suspect. Because remember that last Planet of the Apes movie? That was horrible. Remember that rapper guy in it or something? Whatever, White Man Wojo or whatever the fuck his name was. Who the hell was that guy?
Yeah, I didn't see it, and I was a little worried this one would be bad.
Was it Mark Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, whatever that guy was. Yeah, well, anyway, it sucked.
Yeah,
That
Gary,
movie
this
sucked.
is nothing like that. If anything, this is kind of like what was Conquest of the Planet of the Apes? This is kind of more like a remake of that one.
Well, I get which one it is. You're just going back to when Caesar was Caesar. It's Caesar's movie, right? I mean, Caesar's generation, right? If you can't hear me. You're just mean the movie's about Caesar, right?
You asking me or the other? I was.
Well, Edible, I was asking, but I don't know what happened to him.
You watched the original films, the whole series?
Yeah, I saw them all, but I can't remember their names. But yeah, there was the one where they're doing the Caesar
yeah, but
thing.
one of remember, this is the Caesar thing going way back to when they're slaves, they've made them, and it's a totally different explanation of how it happened. But there's a lot of good explanations, explain things in the movie. But they do have a different explanation. But yeah, the main character, the main chimp is Caesar. So it's, you know, and there's some, yeah. So the good parts of that movie, it's, you know, they I don't know, recreated or whatever. But it's better, definitely better, less cheesy. And I haven't liked any of the acting of the computerized characters like in Avatar. The technology was getting good, but it still didn't look good. This one actually looks good.
That's actually my only real complaint about it is the apes. The apes look good themselves, except for their faces. Their faces are just like too flat.
Pyro, were you ever a fan of the Star Trek series on TV?
I like the original one.
Yeah, you know the episode when they got transferred into another universe, parallel universe, and Spock was all evil?
Of course.
Yeah, evil Spock looked pretty cool. That sort of worked. It was like evil was they had mustaches and beards. That was kind of funny when you think about it. That's how they made them look evil. Oh, cat.
I was just thinking that would be a good alternative to the steady generations of Star Trek.
Whatever. Seems like you're changing the subject unnecessarily, and I don't see the point. Can't really make a show about evil.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but have you ever seen the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie?
Whatever.
Yeah, that was good.
What the fuck does that mean? J.J. Abrams? How does that mean something to me?
The last Star Trek was made by a guy, producer J.J. Abrams, who is getting popular among the Star Wars crowd, which I'm included in.
Alright.
He did Lost and Fringe as TV shows, and he did some crappy stuff too. I think he did that monster movie where you don't get to see the monster and it's shaky camera the whole time.
Well, what are you saying? So he made a Star Trek movie, or are you talking about the last Star Trek movie that was made? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Star Trek movie that was made where they kind of...
Yeah, it was a complete piece of crap. So yeah, so if Pyro thinks that was a good movie, then he must be full of shit, because that movie absolutely sucked. I mean, it was so fucking stupid.
What did you not like about it?
Well, I didn't like the time travel bullshit to start with, which was completely preposterous, and you could unravel as a complete idiotic, moronic plot flaw. And then the whole idea they get exiled on a fucking goddamn planet, and they just happen to get exiled on exactly the same fucking planet, you know, only a few miles away from each other, and only a few miles away from Scotty, you know, who has all of a sudden, you know, he's going to learn his own theory on how to, you know, transport people. I mean, it was just so stupid. Oh, yeah, you invented it. Oh, yeah, I did. That's right. In the future, I invented it, and now you're going to tell it to me in the past, so I'll know it in the future. I mean, come on. The universe would explode right there. But the whole point is that, never mind all of that other crap, okay? Spock was a fucking girl. I mean, it was stupid. They turned Spock into a fucking teenage girl.
I missed that part.
Well, I don't know how you missed it. He was crying and wetting his pants through the whole fucking movie.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I mean, his whole race did kind of get genocided.
Well, like that should matter to Spock in the first place. Like logically that should matter any more than all the other races he saw genocided in his Spock little life. Come on, he's fucking Spock. You think Spock would fall for that shit? I've got to save the brainy little elitist elders who have all of the Vulcanisms. I mean, come on. Spock would not be fooled by that shit. I gotta go save my mommy. My mommy's gonna die. Come on, he's fucking Spock.
No, you know what? Spock would feel that, but yeah, he wouldn't show it.
He wouldn't even feel it. He's fucking goddamn Spock. I wouldn't even feel it. Come on, the whole fucking planet's gonna fucking blow up, and I'm just gonna go, oh, mommy, 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 mommy. I gotta go save the vagina I popped out of. And even so, whatever, edible, the whole point was, is through the whole movie, he didn't know his whole fucking planet blew up. So, it still doesn't explain why he was a goddamn girl in the whole fucking beginning of the movie. The whole first 3/4 of the movie. Yeah, red matter, right? The drill you drop from space. Oh yeah, let's not land on a planet and drill a hole in it. No, let's drop the drill from 1 billion miles in space and like just have a 600-mile drill. I mean, that was so fucking stupid. Well, I'm just saying, I was disappointed by the movie. I thought it was crap.
Gary, so I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, jeez. No. What the fuck? Can I ask you a
Can I ask
question?
you a question, sire?
Simon says...
Well, no, because...
Simon says yes, you may.
Okay, good. Because you're going to regret that. No. Okay, so I'm curious your thoughts on this part, because this tool that I'm making, it's just one little feature. We talked about, we have not similar ideas, but we have like similar concerns. Let's solve certain things and see some of the problems with the internet community is what I'm going to ask. So basically, I think there's got to be a way to make a software site where, you know, people are going to be dramatic, but there's just got to be a way that, like in a Schmoosh box or something, that the drama stuff somehow gets chopped up, or it's injected with the neurotoxin, or there's a white blood cell, or some method, you know. And that's kind of the goal. That's really the goal. This is the first tool in what I want to be a web of tools that allow, like I want people to have kill files, so we get rid of the banning question. You put someone in a kill file, you never see them again. Even if you go to someone else's video and they're commenting in there, you don't see their replies to you. You don't see their comments in there. You know, you take the censorship into the individual, like the old kill file that works pretty well. Things like this where, like my metaphor for it would be, I want ways to strangle the oxygen out of the drama. People pollute all these subjects with their, you know, the alliances they make is my theory.
Yeah,
and
well, we have to create a currency, okay, first, I would say. So my argument would be, if we created some sort of currency that could have a real life.